somewhat unexpected here in San Diego, but actually we had a little bit of a dry stretch after the last game between CSUN and Oklahoma. It's picking back up here once again. Kind of a heavy mist, 59 degrees with, well, it's been cloudy skies for most of the day as we get going. First pitch in at 6:20 p.m. and Hernandez starts it off with the strike for SDSU. This is a Sooner team that lost 4 All-Americans from that 4th straight national championship a season ago, but reloaded with some high-profile transfers, including Dayton, who had a homer in her first at-bat with Oklahoma in the opener. And Hernandez quickly gets ahead of Abby Dayton, 0-2. Couple good seasons at Utah. Saw this San Diego State side in a super regional a couple years ago. And an All-American hitting .431 last year. This one on the ground to second and gets by Macario. So she'll fire it into second base. Told you about the wet conditions. Expect them to play a factor. Again, was pretty dry for our first game between San Diego State and CSUN. That got going around 1 o'clock Pacific here. It's just about 6:21 p.m. as you take another look. Tried to set up inside of it and just couldn't get a clean field on that. So that will go as an error against Macario for San Diego State, putting Dayton aboard and bringing Nelly McEnroe-Marinas up to bat. Moved up in the lineup. She was 0 for 3 in the opener. First pitch is downstairs from Hernandez, and it's 1-0. Didi was an all-tournament team performer 2 years ago, second team all-conference performer back in 2022. Left-handed senior at 5'7" out of La Crescenta, just north of LA, Crescenta Valley High School. Fastball, screwball, curveball change in her arsenal, but the change is the good one. One of the best you're gonna see, and she's sharpened up some of her other pitches as well. This one tagged out into left field for a base hit. And McEnroe-Marinas able to come through. The redshirt freshman, first NCAA knock, and the Sooners in business here with nobody out. Take another look, left out, over the plate. Nice, easy swing to pull it out into left field. And now it's Ella Parker, led off the first game. It's what she did a lot of last year for this group as part of a really special freshman campaign. 3rd team All-American. One of the top 3 finalists for Freshman of the Year as well. Takes the first pitch high, starts it off 1-0. The Sooners offensively against CSUN had to battle back from a couple deficits. Now 1-0 going into the bottom of the 3rd, tied it up then. CSUN took the lead again in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and 3 in the 6th. On their way to a 7-2 win in a game that finished up, well, just about 30 minutes ago. Another ball in from Hernandez. That makes it 2 balls and no strikes. Mostly a relief pitcher for this team throughout her time at SDSU. 31 appearances, just 5 starts a season ago. And gets a swing and a miss. Not the off-speed stuff is her specialty. And she's got Parker here 2-1. Led the Aztecs in ERA and opposing batting average. 265 ERA, 267 in the OBA department. Facing a little heat here in this top of the 1st. 2-1 is high and off the plate. Make it 3-1 now. For the Aztecs, they had Grace Uribe and the freshman Ava Shafel. A couple newcomers handle all the pitching in game 1. Got CC Solura, who had a terrific freshman season. Right-hander who we would expect to see at some point here in this 2nd game of the day. That one is fouled off. And it will go 3-2 now to Parker. Not too far from home in Southern California. 8 Californians on the Oklahoma roster this year, and they'll stick around for a little bit in the early going this season. Parker from LA and Notre Dame High School. the niece of LA Dodgers manager Dave Roberts. And boy, that was fun to see with all the action in OKC a season ago. As this is a swing and a miss. Hernandez pulling the string. Gets a big out, number 1 for San Diego State. Just kind of floating up and away. Swing ended up underneath it, so a big out of the All-American Parker. And here is Sid Sanders. First pitch inside. Sanders able to hold up the swing. Started off here at 1-0. Sooners threatening early, 1st and 2nd with 1 out, just underway here in the top of the 1st. And on a misty night here on Montezuma Mesa. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. And even it up at 1-1. Now Sanders, one of the veterans on a team slanting much younger this season. But still garnering the respect in the national polls that you would expect, 2 or 3, depending on where you look. First year for this group going into the SEC. And a tough non-conference slate, as you would expect. Hernandez set for a 2-1. And drops one in for strike 2. Sanders drew a couple walks in the opener. Once again getting the start at first base and working here with 2 in scoring position. 2-2 from Didi. Softly to second, caught for 1, throw to first to double it off and end the inning. Macario makes the catch, goes back to Farron, and San Diego State able to double off McEnroe Marinas and get out of trouble without giving up a run here in this top of the 1st. Got it jammed inside, and McEnroe Marinas a little too far off the bag there, just 1 out. Trying to see if that Farron in at first for SDSU. Defensively for the Sooners, Sanders is at first, Agbayani at second, Barker at short, McEnroe Marinas at third. Left to right in the outfield, you've got Dayton, Coor, and Pickering. And Emmerling doing the catching, all backing up the right-hander Sam Landry. So mentioned reloading with some good position player transfers and reloading with a couple good hurlers as well. Landry, the righty, senior at 5'10", out of Mont Bellevue in Texas. And the transfer from Louisiana, she went 63 and 19 there with a 2.12 ERA, 460 strikeouts. And lost 4 of the 5 All-Americans from last year. Their ace, Kelly Maxwell. It was a mix of 4 pitchers at any given point. Cole May, their second most used. Carla Keeney, 4th most innings for this group. Kirsten Deal, the 1 returner who saw a lot of time in the circle. 3 and 2 innings out of the gates. It was Isabella Smith who picked up the win in relief. Here's Bella Espinoza. Starts off taking a strike for San Diego State. 4th-year starter, 2-time All-Mountain West performer. Got it started with a bunt single for San Diego State in game 1. Swings over the top of that pitch, and she'll get behind 0-2. Senior out of Huntington Beach, about an hour and a half north of here, and Edison High School. 4th all-time for the Aztecs with a .352 career batting average. And pokes one foul to the left side. This is one thing for this team coming into this season. Espinoza put up some really strong numbers in her first 2 seasons. She had .381 in 2022, .393 in 2023, just .241 last year. Stacey Newman Denise saying we want to see her get back to the short game with some bunts for us. Won't be the look with 2 strikes as she swings over the top, but making some contact and giving the Aztecs an opportunity to see a little bit more of what Landry can offer. On with Louisiana out of the Sun Belt, 460 innings. Opponents hit just 202 off versus some really good numbers and starts things out with a strikeout. So Espinoza down swinging. Landry strikes out the first batter she faces with the Sooners, and that brings Callie Decker up to bat. Decker now one of the offensive staples for San Diego State. Had a big caught stealing from behind the plate to cut down a would-be CSUN rally and help the Aztecs take the lead right after giving it up. Takes a strike on the inside corner and starts it off at 0-1. Third year coming over from Florida, two-time All-Mountain West performer, second teamer each of the last 2 years. That pitch dives down and in. Decker has a go and misses and makes it 0-2. Now, no question, one of the offensive leaders for the San Diego State team. Returning a couple good bats from last year, including Decker. This one skips in and it goes to 1-2. And the senior standing in from the left side out of New Smyrna Beach, Florida, just northeast of Orlando, and Lake Mary High School. Went to the Women's College World Series with the Gators. We're transferring over here to San Diego State. 1-2 pitch, tagged out into the left center gap, all the way down to the wall. Decker is on her way to second, and she'll slide in with the one-out double. So Decker going to work for San Diego State. 5 Aztecs with multiple hits in that first game. She went 0 for 4 and was all over that one. Found the gap out in between Dayton and Core, and Decker giving the Aztecs a runner in scoring position here in this first inning. Went scoreless in their first 3 against CSUN. Fell behind in the 4th, 1-0, added 3 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th on their way to an 8-1 win. The big reason for that was Jasmine Williams. She stands in now and takes ball 1. Williams 2 for 4, had a double, 3 driven in, and 2 runs scored. It's underneath one, popped up on the infield, and snag made at short. So 2 down for San Diego State as Barker sees it in. It brings up Angie Yellen. It was Yellen and Williams combining for all 7 of the San Diego State Ribbies in game number 1. Yellen showing a bunt look, pulled away, and that looked like it hit the bat. So that will be a foul ball and strike 1. So Yellen ready to go back to work for San Diego State, trying to surprise them, lay it down. That one kind of got right off the knob. You know, if that hit off the hand, there would have been a different type of reaction there for sure. Like time called for here at the plate. No score, bottom 1 just underway. th all-time meeting between these two programs. Oklahoma leads this series 12-1. Gets in there for strike 2. And the up last year was a 7-0 Sooner win up at the Nutter Classic in Cathedral City. The lone San Diego State win. You got to go all the way back to 2001. Oh, 2 is popped back, and Yellen able to stay alive here for San Diego State. Second season coming over from Washington. She played 1 year in 2022, didn't play in 23. It was really swinging a hot bat for San Diego State to end last season. She hit .342 over her last 15 games. .260 for the year overall. That one swung on and missed. A late go and a strikeout to end the inning. 2 strikeouts in the first, and some good work in the circle from Landry after the one-out double from Callie Decker. That means we will go scoreless to the second. Aztecs and the Sooners on opening day here on the Mountain West regular season and tournament championships a year ago. And Oklahoma coming off a 4th consecutive national championship, the only program ever to do that at this level. Pickering getting set to start it off. 5, 6, and 7. Pickering, Emmerling, and Agbayani going to work against SDSU and Didi Hernandez. Starts off with the ball down low, and it's 1-0. A big one for the Aztecs, getting Sanders to line into that double play. First and second with nobody out. Or a strikeout in the double play got them out of trouble. Hernandez here 2-0 to Pickering. This one's in there for a strike, so make it 2-1. Good start to the season for Pickering at the plate. 2 out of 3 against CSUN earlier. Drove in a couple runs, had a triple, and scored one herself. Bounces one foul over to the right side. Freshman All-American a season ago, also part of the Women's College World Series All-Tournament team. .389 hitter, 12 homers, 51 driven in. Leading off the second inning for Oklahoma. Goes off speed and skips in from Hernandez. So Pickering battling her way into a full count. And Hernandez has pitched in tandem with some great counterparts here at San Diego State, getting the start here. This one's fouled off. They'll make it, keep it rather at 3-2. And 31 appearances, 5 starts. She went 10-4 with 74 innings a season ago. And pitching her way through traffic, not phased with runners on. It's been a signature of her game. An appeal down to third base. They're going to say no go, and Pickering will take a walk to start the second. So Pickering gets aboard. That brings up Isabella Emmerling. Again, some early traffic here for Oklahoma as you take another look. And even from that angle, bat has to cross the plane of home plate. Did go for the appeal. Michael Hernandez pointing down to Joe Havenhill at third. Hernandez is calling the balls and strikes here in this one. Naomi Erdahl over at first. Up and away to start it for Emmerling, and it's 1-0. At the start at catcher, drew a couple walks in game one. 6 as a team for the Sooners. They had 6 walks and 6 hits in the win. So some good balance there, taking what they were given, not forcing the action, and then ready to come alive offensively when they needed to after CSUN struck on an error in the third and then got it going once again in the fourth. Emmerling fouls this one off. They'll make it 2 balls and a strike. Redshirt junior at 5'10", out of Martinez up in Northern California, Alhambra High School, transfer from North Carolina. Coming off a .323 campaign, 14 homers, 53 driven in. Pops this one foul, make it 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Patty Gasso in her 31st season now. Always over in that third base coaching box. He was a Hall of Fame head coach, elected to that in 2012, and then and proceeded to win 7 of the last 11 national championships in 4 in a row. So it's been a Hall of Fame career multiple times over for Coach Gasso. Grounded to third, on a second for one, and a first for a second Aztec double play. And that's exactly what you're looking for from Hernandez in the circle with runners on. Get him to swing over the top of it. And nicely turned by SDSU. Good stretch over there at first by Kate Farron. That's where Mac Barbara for the last couple seasons have been holding things down for San Diego State. Mix of a few others, but Farron getting some action over in that direction. And after the leadoff walk, the double play clears the bases. Now 2 away. And a strike is in to Alana Agbayani. Couple seasons at BYU, initially from Iolani, Hawaii, and the powerhouse Iolani School. Showing a bunt look. They're going to say that one was inside for ball 1. All-region performer each of the last 2 seasons with the Cougars. Take a look. It might have just broke in late. Our camera's a little off-center. If you're looking straight away, pitcher batter would be just to the right. By about maybe 10 feet of actual distance there beyond the outfield wall. 1-1, well struck. Agbayani just behind it and make it a ball and 2 strikes. Hernandez sets up for a 1-2. And that one is, oh, that looked like strike 3 from up here, but it goes in for ball 2. So running up to 2-2 now. And not sure where that missed. Like a knee-high strike, live and on replay. So now a 2-2 pitch. And fouled off. He might have got that one off the leg just a little bit, but gets out of the box and looks to be all right. Yeah, seen a couple different conferences. The WCC 2 years ago with BYU. And then was first team all Big 12 last season. And now getting set for action in the SEC with the Sooners. 2-2. That one skips in from Hernandez. And run the count full here. So full count with 2 down, bases empty, no score, top 2. Hernandez deals one, and that clips the inside corner for strike 3. So Hernandez faces the minimum after a leadoff walk and inning-ending punch-out, her second strikeout in as many innings. And the Aztecs keep the Sooners off the board here in the second. 1.5 in the books, no score here in San Diego. Now going to the bottom of the second here on Mountain West Network. No score between San Diego State and Oklahoma. Both teams winners over CSUN earlier today. And somebody will head to 2-0 to start off opening day, and they're set to be in action once again tomorrow. Here is Grace Uribe. Pitched and hit for herself in the opener and made a splash in her San Diego State debut this afternoon. Takes a ball to level it at 1-1. 2 for 3 at the plate. Scored a run, 5 innings as the starter. Got the win, 4 hits, an earned run, 2 walks on 3 strikeouts. 68 pitches for Uribe, coming up from Texas A&M. Holds up the swing and takes the 1-1 pitch high for ball 2. So one of the Aztec transfers with good experience. It's something Stacy Newman-Denise in her 4th season has done. Make this a destination for transfers from some pretty high-profile programs. So a pop over to third, into foul territory to go and get it. Excellent diving catch there for McEnroe Marinas. Goes down as the first out of the inning. Quick reaction play, had to have the right read. And pretty clean landing there, too. So nice work from McEnroe Marinas over there at third base. One down here for Lala Macario. Looks to put a bunt down. McEnroe Marinas on it, but couldn't corral it in time to make that a close play at first. So Macario getting aboard here for San Diego State. Taking a look, was ready for it, actually got there in enough time, ended up a little bit off to the right side. So it would have been crossbody with the glove, which just lengthens the plate. Thought you might be able to make a barehanded effort there. Work against the speed of Macario, who's got some wheels and runs well. Able to get aboard on a bunt single. Second hit for San Diego State. Here's Quinn Waikey, ready to look at a 1-0 pitch. It's off the plate and make it 2-0. Now Waikey, the true freshman, starting in at shortstop for SDSU. Two for three in the opener. And takes ball 3 low. Landry able to pitch her way out of trouble in that first inning. Going back to work here for Oklahoma. They'll go ahead and call timeout. 6 timeouts involving team personnel, 6 involving student athletes only. So Kendall Fern will chat it up with San Diego State, her 3rd season on staff, 2nd season for Curly Grimes, first for Bryce DeColvey coming up from Texas Tech. Now coaching first base for San Diego State. Jennifer Rocha, JT Casso, Palema Steele on staff for head coach Patty Gasso of Oklahoma. Fun to hear her talk about working with her son, said all these great things, like loves the way he teaches, and then at the end, like, hey, I'm proud of him in that pregame presser. Preseason presser, I should say. Got to look there in the Aztec dugout, and Stacy Newman-Denise, one of the best hitters of all time, former National Player of the Year at UCLA. That was in 2002, won a title with the Bruins in 1999. Pitching for a strike, throw down to second. Timing looked all right, but couldn't corral it. So that is a stolen base. Barker covering over there, and Macario able to get on the move. Now set things up for Waikey with the runner in scoring position. 3-1 with 1 away, no score, bottom 2. And that's in there for a strike. Got it on the inner half. Waikey checking the swing, but that one comfortably in the zone. Full count pitch is due. And just up top for ball 4. Close one right on the edge. Waikey putting together a good at-bat. I'm talking with Stacy Newman-Denise yesterday. She said she's got some of the best defensive tools that we have ever seen. As you get another look at that one. And just up high, trying to pull it back in, Everling. Frame it up a little bit. Waikey takes a walk. I was really excited about what Waikey could bring to the table defensively, and then, if I'm not mistaken, she actually didn't have a ball hit or wave for a putout or an assist of any kind at short in that first game. Well, she's gotten off to a good start offensively here. And Julie Holcomb standing in next, taking a strike. Left-handed hitting sophomore out of Los Alamitos. Just her 2nd start with the Aztecs in game 1. Holcomb over the top of that 0-1 pitch, make it 0-2. And Uribe popped up foul over to third. A nice play by McEnroe Marinas, diving into foul territory, and a bunt single and a walk. And now a strikeout. Kept it low. Holcomb swinging over the top a couple times. 3rd strikeout here for Landry. And with 2 away, it's on to the 9th spot for Kate Farron. Second season for the Aztecs, a transfer from Dartmouth. She was a 2-time first-team All-Ivy League shortstop. That's Farron that we're talking about, but it looks like Aztecs are going to be making a move to the bench, trying to strike first here. So they're going to call on Shannon Cunningham, Arizona State transfer, who made her SDSU debut as a pinch hitter, went 0 for 1 against CSUN. A career .254 hitter coming into the day. So Cunningham against Landry. Macario's at second. Wyke's at first. No score. 2 down. Bottom of the second here on day 1 in this 2025 campaign. Spots one up nicely on the inside corner and starts off Cunningham 0-1. Stacey Newman-Denise really likes the depth and the speed of her group this year. She said those are a couple areas I look at as being excited about, but a little more depth in terms of the position players compared to last season. And already a team that ran a lot. Second, the Mount West in stolen bases. Expect to see some more of that this year. This one tagged out to center. Cooler heading back to the wall, and that one is gone. Welcome to San Diego, Shannon Cunningham. And the Aztecs grab a 3-0 lead here in the second. A 3-run pinch hit home run. Was ready to go after that pitch. Middle in a good spot. Gore tracking it all the way back, and it just got out of her reach and cleared the fence. Now the Aztecs moving on from one of the best hitters in program history in Mac Barbara. And in terms of raw pop, looking for a bat to take over some of that. Cunningham certainly a candidate. Has her first home run with San Diego State. That's a ground out by Espinoza. That'll bring the inning to an end, but some early fireworks for the Aztecs. Cunningham with a 3-run home run of last inning to grab the lead. So big time stuff off the bench for San Diego State and Shannon Cunningham. So now Didi Hernandez will go back to work with the lead, facing Sydney Barker to start it off. Hannah Kaur and Abby Dayton also due up 8-9-1. And quick get together here for San Diego State is going to call timeout. Cunningham, in the meantime, has stayed in the game at first here for SDSU. So batted in that 9th spot in place of Farron. For Farron's first look, that could have also been part of the plan. That could be one of 2 ways. Could have been part of the plan. A pregame substitution. We saw him do that with the flex early on. So you get some defensive innings for Farron, and then Cunningham takes that spot first time it's up. And Barker will take a 4-pitch walk to start off the Sooner third. So Sooners looking for the answer here in the third. And that will bring up Hannah Kaur. Kaur picked up a hit off the bench in game 1. Starts off taking this one up top, and it's 1-0. So a 4-pitch walk start the inning. And Hernandez, who's typically been a very good strike thrower, low walk rate for this team. Working at finer command. They called an early timeout, and now Stacy Newman-Denise will check in as well. That party of 4 for Oklahoma. They're off to the third base side. Patty Gasso recently announced that she'll be at the helm for Team USA. That was Monday, in fact, just a couple days ago. The 2028 Olympics. Great to see softball making a comeback there. That's going to be a ton of fun. The national team's going to be in the most capable hands. Hernandez back to work, 1-0 to Core. Gets it in for a strike. And goes to 1-1. So first strike for Hernandez in 6 pitches this inning. One bounce foul up the third base side. And make it 1-2. Core had a beat on that homer out in center field. Ended up just out of a reach. And those center field stands knew actually a little bit of increased capacity for this matchup that sold out within an hour of tickets going on sale. Not a lot of wiggle room here at the SCSU softball stadium tonight. One goes downstairs, makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm shoulder to shoulder with our producer, director, Dan Oshman. He just gave me a little wiggle, a little bump. Fighting for elbow room here. Scoring a redshirt junior campaign out of Yorba Linda here in California in Esperanza High School. Good contact to right, but it's snagged out there by Holcomb. So one trip through the order complete and goes back to the top here for Abby Dayton. Preseason All-SEC pick. Coming off that All-American campaign with Utah. Was also an All-Region performer with the Utes in 2023. He was the Pac-12 batting champ a season ago at .431. Really strong defensively as well. Starts off taking ball 1. She had an 1109 OPS. The line was 431, 510, 599. Bounces one over to first. That dipped down on the hop off of Cunningham. And it will put 2 aboard here for Oklahoma. If I had to go hitter error off the top of my head, I would go error. That took a little bit of a tough hop, but even then, I mean, Cunningham was playing in, and just based on positioning with where she was at to go and get that one, I don't know if Macario would have had enough time to go and cover first. Don't call it a base hit. The infield shifting around. Aztecs are getting set to make a pitching change. CC Solura will check into action. And we'll get to see her for the first time this season when you come back here on Mountain West Network. CC Solura into action here for San Diego State, getting set to face Nellie McEnroe-Marinas. 1 out, 2 runners on for Oklahoma here in the top of the 3rd. And Solura starts out McEnroe-Marinas with a strike. Able to get a couple aboard. Dayton on that infield single, pulling Cunningham in from first just a moment ago. Started off with a walk earlier this inning by Sydney Barker. So the tying run here at the plate, and enter CC Solura. Aztecs are the Mountain West preseason favorites after winning the regular season and tournament titles. Aztecs are the Mountain West preseason favorites after winning the regular season and tournament titles a season ago, and Solura the Mountain West preseason pitcher of the year. Sophomore readies the 0-2, and little chase material ends up off the plate. Macron Marinas not giving chase. So ball and 2 strikes here with 1 away. Solura, the right-hander at 6 feet tall, out of Glendale, just east of the Griffith Observatory up in LA, and Louisville High School. Popped up on the infield. That's going to be an infield fly as Macario corrals it for San Diego State. 2 down here in the 3rd. And it's off to the 3-hole hitter, Ella Parker. Solura will be a significant uptick in velocity with what you see from Didi Hernandez. Just a lot of different looks, a lot more velo, so that's kind of why you stack him the way you do. Won't speed up the bats going in that sequence. This one is bounced foul by Parker. Cunningham tracking it into foul territory for San Diego State. Starts off Parker at 0-1, 2 down here in the Sooner 3rd. 3-0 San Diego State on Cunningham's 3-run homer in the bottom half of last inning. Next one into Parker for a strike, and it's 0-2. Solura can dial it up to the high 60s. Good down ball pitcher. Control and a strike thrower with that heavy down action, and she will mix in the change from time to time. 0-2, good contact, but foul. So no balls and 2 strikes. So trying to get reacclimated velo-wise with a good spike for Solura coming in there for San Diego State. Part of what made Allie Light so good for the Aztecs, one of the key pitchers they lost from last season's team, the big break, and Solura can do that, good drop, plus the velo, though. It's like what Allie Light used to be able to do for this team, plus about 7 to 8 miles an hour of velocity, and Solura going year 1 to year 2. Stacey Newman-Denise telling me, hey, her velo floor has been up. It was mid to high 60s was the range heading into her freshman season. She said now she's consistently seeing that floor in the high 60s. Dips downstairs. Parker lays off and makes it a ball and 2 strikes. Now, very much a pitching staff by committee for San Diego State. They took to that a couple years ago. One of the first bigger time programs to really dive in with it. And it managed to work it effectively. 4 different pitchers here over these 2 games. Well, the good news is they've got the experience of Solura back, along with Hernandez. Also had Ava Schafel, who showed out well to close out that first game, and Grace Uribe retired the first 8 batters that she faced against CSUN this afternoon. As far as the rest of the pitching staff goes, Olivia Gigante, expect to see her toss some innings for San Diego State at some point this year. I want to go back up the middle. That's a base hit. Parker comes through. Throw will be cut off, and Oklahoma is on the board. Parker, the All-American, comes through with a 2-out RBI single, and the Sooners chop into the deficit here and make it 3-1. Now Barker, who led off the inning with a walk, what feels like a long time ago, coming around to score. And right back up the middle, perfectly timed up. And sliding in some style points and fired up. There was Barker. She went in to score. Here's Sid Sanders. Potential tying run is Parker now over at first. Sanders back home in San Diego out of San Marcos High School, former Knight up in North County Extended. A 35, 40-minute drive here from the Mesa. No one's in there for a ball and make it 1-1. Lined into that double play. We're kind of that soft liner to Macario at second base back in the first inning. Aztecs had turned to double play in both the first and second innings. Big reason why they were able to hold Oklahoma scoreless out of the gates. 1-1 popped up to the left side. And Angie Yellen tracks it in for the final out of the third. Ella Parker coming through for Oklahoma. RBI single with 2 down. Helping the Sooners get on the board. It's 3-1 San Diego State through 2.5. Wave of newcomers after graduating the most talented and most successful class in D1 softball history. Decker starts it off for the Aztecs. A 3-run home run from Shannon Cunningham last inning. Making it 3-0 at the time. Sooners will come through with the answer. 1-0 pitch is right back at Landry, and she'll make the play 1 away. Has gotten the first batter out here in each of these first 3 innings. And now getting set to face Jasmine Williams as you take another look. Not easy to do. Kind of reaching behind where you finished that time, but kept her balance nicely. Got the glove on it. Hit the play for the first out of the third. Williams is late on this one. Hot coming off the bat. Up to the right side, and it's 0-1. 2 for 4, 3 RBI, 2 runs scored in her Aztec debut against CSUN for the Cal State Fullerton transfer. And pops this one back to the screen. Sophomore back home in San Diego here out of Seal Canyon High, where she was the former CIF Player of the Year as a senior. Part of a Fullerton team that's been toast to the Big West for a handful of seasons now. They won the regular season title and had a decent run in the Stanford Regional last year. That one fair down the third base side. Williams on her way to second as the ball gets into the corner, and she'll be there with a stand-up double. So Jasmine Williams continuing to swing a hot bat out of the gates here for San Diego State. Umpires are going to get together here. Some of the defenders for Oklahoma had reacted as if that was a foul ball. It was really close live as you take another look. Not anything we'd probably be able to give you off of that one. We do have replay review available. Patty Gasso is out to talk with the umpiring crew. The tricky thing is, even with the video system that's in place, not sure if you'd be able to get that perfect shot down the line. It's a Speedio camera system, 4 cameras independent of our broadcast, and we do not have access to them. And this will be challenged here by Oklahoma. We'll see if we can give you one more look here. It's that one challenge by CSUN in our first game. It was unsuccessful. Either way, it goes down as a good poke by Williams, and called a hit on the field. So I'd have to see if there's anything specific to overturn that. But again, we'll tell you whatever we show you. Different angles available that the umpires will be taking a look at. So whatever we see really wouldn't be able to be definitive. Working to get you another look here. San Diego State trying to tack on after that 3-run bottom of the second. This is as good as it's going to get from our standpoint. And again, not the same look that the umpires are taking a look at, so it's our best guess. Thought it looked like a fair ball live. We'll see what they come out with on the other side of a quick breather here on Mountain West Network. They're going to get the coaches together here after this challenge, which makes you think it's not going to be straightforward, but we'll see. It was a challenge on a fair foul ball off the bat of Jasmine Williams for San Diego State. So Stacy Newman, Denise Patagasso out with the umps. And Michael Hernandez, Naomi Erdahl, and Joe Havenhill. And then we told you about the camera system. There's actually 5 of them here. And there's one off to the first base side that it would be the go-to camera, so you'd think, for this kind of angle. So brought the coaches together, gave an explanation, and Williams is not going anywhere, so it looks like she'll stay at second base. Call on the field stands. That's interesting. You feel like if the call on the field stands, that's usually self-explanatory. You wouldn't need the get together. Must have been an extra reason for that. So Williams into second. That's a 1-out double for San Diego State, and Angie Yellen takes strike 1 here. 0-1 with 1 away. 3-1 San Diego State, bottom 3. That's off speed. Good time to change the speeds from Sam Landry. And it goes here to 0-2. Ellen struck out swinging in the first for the Aztecs, coming off of a monster game 1. And 2 for 3 with a 3-run homer, 4 driven in total. $17 ribbies, 18 runs scored last season as a .260 hitter, but hit .342 over her final 15 games, so was heating up then. Keeping it going early on this season. Puts one here in the air to left, and Dayton there to haul it in. 2 gone for San Diego State in the third. And here is Grace Uribe. So 2-way player for the Aztecs, the 5'11" Texas A&M transfer, originally from Huntington Beach High School up in Orange County, about 90 minutes north of here. And Uribe fouls it right back to the netting. She'll start off at 0-1. Popped out foul for that first out of last inning. Remember that nice play by McEnroe Marinas, diving into foul territory over on the third base side to get the Aztec DP. A 1 pitch drops downstairs, making a ball and a strike. Aztecs looking for more here. It's been a signature of this offense, and once they break the lid, they are tough to stop. Runs came out in bunches late against CSUN in game 1. There's a swing and a miss. Another good change of speeds. Makes it a ball and 2 strikes. Getting down 1-0 going into the bottom of the 4th. 3 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th, 1 more in the 6th, and we're in potential run rule territory for a good stretch to close out that win. 1-2. Some heat this time. It's inside for ball 2. And new look group in a lot of ways. 3 out of the 4 primary pitchers, including the ace, on from Oklahoma for a season ago. And that one is in there for strike 3. Gonna say that Uribe went around, and some good work after that 1-out double by Jasmine Williams. Landry pitching effectively with runners in scoring position. Issues the check swing for strike 3. 3-1 San Diego State after 3 innings. West Championships, 3 in the regular season, 2 in the tournament. You'll remember they brought the tournament back in 2023. They won that here, got the tournament up in Boise in 2024 last spring. Let's go with that regular season championship. Won the regular season title in 2022 and missed out by half a game in 2023. Cassidy Pickering leading off the inning, puts one into foul territory. Whereby the cage is off to the left side. Aztecs navigating it, but it falls down for strike 1. Now a couple of Aztecs heading over in the area to try to make the play. CC Solura back to work here. 31 appearances, 19 starts, 8-5 with a 2.75 ERA. 101 in the third innings last year. She walked only 8 batters all season, struck out 45. A stellar true freshman campaign. Led the team with 4 saves. Second in the NCAA in walks per 7 innings with .52. And doing all of that in a very tough league to pitch in. You got a lot of teams in the Mountain West that play at high altitude and a lot of teams that are built with power hitters. We talked about Boise. That sure is the case for the Boise State Broncos. So control and strike throwing for Solura. He was ready to go right out of the gates and actually pitched well in this matchup against Oklahoma last year. Held the Sooners to a run on 4 hits over 2 2/3. That was on February 24th up at the Nutter Classic in Cathedral City. Sooners won that game 7-0. With that ultra-talented group on its way to the 4th straight national championship. Solura against Pickering. The 2-2 is inside, or ball 3. Yeah, so Solura with that stellar command. Pickering coming off that freshman All-American campaign. Let's a swing on this one. Sends it as a fly ball out to left. And snagged out there by Espinoza. So Bella Emmering, the North Carolina transfer, getting set to stand in now. Patty Gasso talking before the season, saying all that roster change. Said, look, with the freshmen, you just want them to come in and settle in and not worry about trying to win a 5th straight national championship. Said you come in with that pressure, the harder you try, the less smooth things get. Just trying to ease some things up for that group as Emmerling comes through with the base hit through the left side. She said that overall really excited with this group. In many ways, we feel like we're starting from ground zero, young team. It's not going to be the traditional look that we've had the last handful of years, but one thing that we will keep is that championship mindset. She said, one thing I know, that this group is going to fight and not quit. She's seen it out of them and everything leading up to the year. Agbayani takes a strike. And it's 0-1. Been in and out of some drizzly conditions here, and it looks like, at least for the time being, it is completely dried up. Hoping it stays that way. Never really anything enough to threaten this thing. One is put just into play. They're going to try for a second. Now they're going to call it a foul ball. I think it hit off of Agbayani in that left-handed batter's box. So we thought we saw live. Hit off of Agbayani, then bounced back into play. If it does that as a case where the batter is in fair territory or on the move, they are out, but not still in the box, as it looked like that was the case there. And it's just a foul ball, dead ball. Taking another look here. Yeah, looked like she definitely got it off of the foot that time. Maybe that lead foot there. Well, had that thing played out, would have been first and second here with the one away. Instead, it's 0-2 with one away. 3-1 Aztec lead top four. Runner on first for the Sooners, and that is a hit by pitch. Ran up and in on Agbayani, and Oklahoma in business again here. First and second with one out in the fourth. And they're going to get set to send Gabby Garcia into action here. Garcia, who got the start at shortstop in game one. For 2 in the action then, and now stepping into a big spot. Again, the table setting has been steady. Leadoff hitter aboard in the first 3 innings. Didn't get it here, but backed it up with a single and a hit by pitch. And we're also going to see a pinch runner head out to second base in the form of Cheney Helton. Made her NCAA debut as a pinch runner earlier today against CSUN, and back to action once again. Here's Garcia, the freshman, standing in for the left side at 5'4", out of Chandler, Arizona. Two-time Arizona Republic All-Arizona team member, 6A Player of the Year during her junior campaign. And also a state champion in the javelin. So really well-rounded athlete. Going back to work here against Solura. Tying run at first, go-ahead run at the plate, and CC dialing in a strike to make it 0-1. That's one of the things with that re-entry rule. You can get much more creative with how you use your roster. Designate some players as pinch hitters and just, hey, you're going to get that one shot to come in off the bench at some point. Same from a pinch running standpoint. Solura reining the control back in here. It's another strike in, and it's 0-2. And you can see Macario coming over from second base. Always good vibes and good energy from her. This one is fouled off. Garcia able to stay alive. .496 hitter in high school with 70 ribbies. Really good defender as well. That's why that's pretty cool for both of these teams, seeing, at least from a game one standpoint, true freshmen starting at shortstop. 0-2. Right back up the middle. Tag second for one, and another double play turned by the Aztecs. Their third of the game. Cuts things short here for Oklahoma in the fourth. And keeps San Diego State on top, 3-1. Range in from short. There's Quinn Wyke. Told you about her defensive prowess, helping turn it smoothly. 6-3 for San Diego State. 3-1 Aztecs. Halfway to a full 7 here on opening day. Sold out in less than an hour. As part of this triple header here on opening day, and looks like we may be due for some more softball here tomorrow with some weather in Southern California. As Macario puts down a bunt and beats it out. Another bunt single for Lala Macario. Aztecs relying on that with Espinoza in game one, and Macario here to start off the fourth. It's just a great tone setter, putting that pressure on. Pretty good effort over to try and get that thing from McEnroe Marinas. Not perfect bunt with the perfect speed, even with that kind of jump. Not easy to defend. One chopped over that direction and taken by Landry. Fields her post. And gets the out at first. Not an easy play to make. Going away from first base outside the circle. And Waikiki will put Macario into scoring position here. Gabby Garcia, by the way, has stayed in to play shortstop for Oklahoma. And also Emmerling back in to catch from a defensive standpoint. There's Olivia Gigante in for San Diego State. And will bat in the spot of Holcomb for the moment. So Gigante, another one of those transfers coming over from Florida. And back here to San Diego out of Patrick Henry High School. She was the DP against CSUN and went 0 for 2. Starting off her Aztec career. And takes strike one just on the outside corner. So again, batting in the 8th spot in the place of Holcomb here. One season with the Gators in 2023, did not play in 2024. So just missed Callie Decker. .37 appearances, 19 starts, .242 hitter, but a .500 slugging percentage a couple seasons back with Florida. Landry's 1-1 is popped foul. Make it a ball and 2 strikes. One away for San Diego State, bottom 4, 3-1 lead. This opening day nightcap between the Aztecs and the Sooners. One-two runs upstairs, make it 2 balls and 2 strikes. So Gigante looking to bolster the Aztec bats. Lost a good handful of position players as well. Offensively, none more impactful than Mac Barbara, of course. There's a swing and a miss. Got her over the top of some off-speed stuff. And another strikeout. Gets us to 2 outs here in the 4th. Told you about the strikeout numbers. Very good at Louisiana. Just keeps that thing down, and Gigante kind of swiping over the top of it. Have to go low to high just to be able to do anything with that. Well, good spot when you had some room to work with there. There's Cunningham, homered last time up. So staying here in the spot of Farron, and takes a ball in the outside corner, drawing the ire of some of the home fans here. 6th homer of her NCAA career and first was San Diego State. Rerun shot out to pretty much straightaway center. Now Cunningham will go ahead and lay off. And 5 NCAA homers over a couple seasons with Arizona State for the Tustin native out of Foothill High School. Stepping in at 5'9". Landry ready for the 1-1. Cunningham pops it foul. It's 1-2. And the Aztecs, these 2 games, and due to head up to Fullerton tomorrow, but expecting some weather that will likely be moving some games down here. One down in the dirt. Macario had it red and scampers off for third base. Take another look, had it red, saw the pop out. And able to get one bag closer. 2-2 now. That one in there for a called strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts And stopping an Aztec rally before it could get going after the leadoff bunt single by Lala Macario. So some effective pitching with runners on by Sam Landry. Keeps the deficit at 2. 3-1 San Diego State through 4 innings. The 5th inning here on Mountain West Network. San Diego State jumping on Oklahoma with a 3-run second. 1 in the 3rd for the Sooners and nothing across in the 4th. Run on 4 hits, no errors, and 4 left on for visiting Oklahoma heading back to bat. 3 runs, 5 hits, an error, 3 left on for San Diego State. CC Solura starting out Maya Bland with the strike. So Bland has grabbed a bat here, got the start in right field in game 1. And struck out, only plate appearance there. Solura's 0-1 pitch is bounced foul, trying to sneak it inside that first base line. So Bland batting in the spot of Cora here in the 9-hole. And they flip it back to the top of the order for Dayton. Aztecs have turned 3 double plays. So plenty of traffic, plenty of base runners early on for Oklahoma, but San Diego State has had the answer in that department. That 0-2 pitch misses for a ball and makes it 1-2. Something they excelled at last year. Good host of down ball pitchers, inducing a lot of ground balls. They turned the 17th best double play average in the country, San Diego State, a season ago. Bounced over to third base. Yellen is there, and the throw's in time. So they get Bland to bounce out. And 1 away. Here's we go back to the top of the order for Abby Dayton. So Solura for San Diego State. She came in last year, was D1 softball's preseason pitcher of the year, coming in as a freshman. Dayton swings over the top of this inside pitch and starts it off 0-1. It was all that and more for SDSU, so brought them to having a really good rotation of 3. Solura, Hernandez, and Allie Light, we talked a little bit about tonight. The other thing that you knew from San Diego State's standpoint is, look, Hernandez came out and started this game. Often pitches in relief, but that you knew you were going to have Solura stepping into that light role for sure. And we'll see what becomes of the 2 pitchers on staff in Uribe and Shapley, the ones that we expect to see a little bit more as this season rolls on. But look, team that has pitched and defended really well consistently under Stacey Newman-Denise. 36 in ERA, 39th in fielding percentage last year. There's a batting average. They hit .285, which nationally speaking, pretty good at 84th, but in an offense-heavy league in the Mountain West, that was only good for 7th. Dan Oshman, who's producing and directing this broadcast, just gave me some side-eye. Now, that's the 7th best batting average in the league, 84th best in the country. But again, offense-heavy, a lot of games at altitude, a lot of teams that are built for offense, and that's why having solid pitching and defense has helped San Diego State rise above that cream of the crop, win 4 of the last 5 Mountain West titles, regular season and tournament. And if you've been with us the last couple of years, you know where this is going. The only one they didn't win, an unplayed game between Boise State and Colorado State 2 seasons ago because of snow, never got made up. Aztecs were a half game behind the Broncos. They had the tiebreaker. They didn't get the game in. And, well, one of the bigger effects to that was that the regular season champ gets to host the conference tournament the following year. So that's why it was in Boise. Rams, as they typically do, had a good team. If they had won that game, then the Aztecs would have won the regular season championship. You can talk about margins in single games all you want, but I think an unplayed game is a little bit more of one to keep your eye on. Good battle going on here as Dayton stays alive by fouling off that 3-2 pitch. And the Aztecs, the preseason favorite once again. RPI 37 last year, so probably would have been in the tournament even without the auto bid. The program in really good shape. And Dayton wins that battle, and she is fired up. Hitting the board for the third time in as many trips up. So setting the table as the leadoff hitter for Oklahoma, and you like getting that early pressure on. Getting this one-out hit by pitch, and once again, the potential tying run will come to the plate. And so Dayton, who had that homer in her first at-bat in game one, always need a little something to get the season going, and that was after an error at short that gave CSUN a run that they probably wouldn't have had otherwise. First pitch is up top. McEnroe Marina standing in as the Aztecs will go ahead and call for time. 14 NCAAs for San Diego State, 10 Mountain West titles, most all time. Well, for Oklahoma, there are so many superlatives to speak to the success of this program's team, with 59-7 national champs a year ago. 17 Women's College World Series appearances all time, and 8 in a row. They made the NCAA tournament in all 30 seasons. Under Patty Gasso, their lowest win total in a season was 41, and that was quite a few years ago. It's been one of the more remarkable runs in modern college athletics, certainly at the D1 level, and certainly among the higher profile sports that you tend to see. You say men's and women's basketball, men's, women's soccer, volleyball, football, baseball, softball. Building up a dynasty, and again, a lot of square one work for this team, but still ultra talented, battle tested, no doubt, by the time they get to the SEC. One in the air to short, leaping, stretching grab from Waikiki. Solura says, thank you. Waikiki says, I got you. Now balanced at contact, took that little hop, and then was ready to stretch and go back. Good play by Waikiki, who's a really exciting defensive prospect for San Diego State. 2 down here for Ella Parker. Parker gets a hold of one. That'll drop into the right center gap. This could be a run for the Sooners. Parker on her way to second, and no throw home for San Diego State. As Dayton comes in to score, Parker connects, and Oklahoma makes it a 1-run game here in the 5th. It's Parker once again. Aztecs taking that 3-0 lead in the bottom of the second. Bounced one up the middle on a 1-2 pitch against Solura. First time up, this time ready to go. Saw what she liked right away. Put it into the gap for an RBI double. 4th hit between these two games and 5th RBI. A red-hot start to the season for Parker. And now Sid Sanders starts off taking strike 1. 0-1 with 2 away, tying run at second. Go-ahead run at the plate for Oklahoma here on the top of the 5th. No one up top, make it a ball and a strike. And they've been steady offensively, been chipping away. For Oklahoma, you look at these 5 innings offensively, they have either had the leadoff batter aboard or had multiple batters get aboard in every inning so far. And in a couple cases, or going back to the first inning, they had both of those things. So consistent traffic, consistent pressure. In fact, we have yet to see a 1, 2, 3 inning for either side so far in this one. Big pitch coming up here at 3-1 to Sid Sanders. It's underneath this one, and the count will run full at 3-2. Pac-12 Freshman of the Year. A couple seasons back with Arizona State. Some great starting experience. Another one of those high-profile transfers. Oh, that one misses up top for ball 4. So that means that the go-ahead run gets on. And setting it up for Cassidy Pickering here. And the Aztecs will get together and talk it out. Yeah, thought that was live high. You get a look at it there on the replay. That was a good call for ball 4. So a big opportunity for the Sooners with that go-ahead run on and getting set for in Pickering. You look at Pickering, Parker, those 2 great freshman seasons a year ago. Pickering a really tough out as San Diego State's going to go ahead and make a pitching change. So Grace Uribe going to check into action here. Got the start in game 1, the win in 5 innings. Been hitting in both of these games as well. And now trying to see if she can put a stop to a rally here. Did a good job keeping the softball down in her first action with San Diego State. And that's what she'll be looking to do here with force on at 2nd and 3rd. Now Uribe's got some good velo. Runs about 66 to 69, an up and a down ball pitcher. So that's what she brings to the table for San Diego State. Stacy Newman-Denise calling her the most multidimensional pitcher we have. You got a lot of pitchers. You're going to see heavy up ball or heavy down ball. In the case of Uribe, she can do both. So as a hitter, you really got to lock in a little bit more to, okay, I know she can do both. What are we expecting to see in this particular situation? Puts a little bit more guesswork into it. And Pickering, who we're talking about, is a tough out a season ago. 389 with a 513 on base percentage, 705 slugging. Big time matchup here. Base hit could tie it up. Aztecs playing pretty back in the outfield, respecting that pop. Fly one to the gap or down the line could give the Sooners the lead. 1-0 is up and away. 2 balls and no strikes, and could be a time to be patient here. And it was a walk and a 3-1 count to Sid Sanders on this pitching change. At least want to see Uribe throw a strike. And she's able to do just that. The knee high and on the inside corner. So now should be game on here at 2-1. Parker's at second, Sanders at first. 2-1 pitch. In the air to center. That is tattooed and gone. Big time rally for Oklahoma, and Cassidy Pickering with a 3-run shot gives the Sooners their first lead of this nightcap. It's 5-3. getting it done here with 2 outs. Ground out, hit by pitch, and a line out to start the inning. And boy, a no-doubter there off the bat of Pickering. That tree back there is not necessarily close to the wall. There's a little bit of distance between those two. And trots on home to a happy group of Sooners. 4 runs in now in the 5th. Grounder to third, Yellen there for San Diego State, and gets the final out of the inning. Parker and Pickering with some great freshman campaigns a season ago, coming up with some clutch hits for the Oklahoma Sooners, including this no-doubter out to center. 5-3 Oklahoma, middle of the 5th here in San Diego. Mountain West Network, 5-3 Oklahoma over San Diego State. 3 runs for the Aztecs in the 2nd, and the last 5 have gone to the Sooners. 1 in the 3rd, 4 in the 5th. 2 freshmen who turned in some excellent seasons last year, Parker and Pickering, picking up where they left off and stepping in as the new offensive leaders of this club. And now San Diego State with a deficit to chase for the first time in this one. Bella Espinoza will start things off. Tries to lay down a bunt, working that short game, puts it foul, and it's 0-1. Downstairs, make it 1-1. It's been effective pitching from Landry so far. And you look at the Aztecs' numbers in situational hitting, they're just 1 for 9 with runners on, 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. A big blast by Cunningham back in the 2nd. They've had opportunities before and since to add on, but that has been their only run-scoring inning so far. 1-2 is off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes here for Bella Espinoza. Struck out first time up and bounced back out to Landry. First 2 innings has not been up since, and it's a swing and a miss. Another strikeout. Time it starts off the 5th. So now the bid to try and protect this 2-run lead for Oklahoma starts off on a good foot. That'll bring up Callie Decker. Decker doubled back in the 1st and bounced out back at Landry in the 3rd. She's been busy. She's had some of the strikeouts just so straight up putaways, and then a couple hit back in her direction as well. Line at the moment, 4 1/3, 5 hits. Just a 1-run scoring hit with the 3 earned, a walk and 7 strikeouts on 65 pitches. And all told, you look at the traffic, you look at the table setting for San Diego State. They've gotten their 1 or 2 hitter aboard to start every inning. 5 hits, 2 doubles, a homer. And if you say, hey, if it's only 3 runs, you'll take that, especially with the Sooner offense providing a lot of traffic on the other side. Finally got out of a double play cage that they were locked in for a little bit, and then came through with a couple big knocks in the top half of this 5th to the tune of 4 runs. 1-2 with 1 away, base is empty. Landry against Decker. And Decker fouls it off for San Diego State. Told you about some possible movement in the schedule. Now getting word that that will not be the case. So we'll go on as normal tomorrow for the Aztecs up at Fullerton. They'll take on Southern and Cal State Fullerton. And Army up in Riverside. Round out their slate of 5 here on opening weekend. And against Army will be coming up on Sunday as this one is bounced foul. And then what's a little more unusual, we've typically seen a home event for San Diego State. That won't be the case. They'll head to the Shriners Invite in Florida, Alabama, Wichita State, Missouri, Virginia, and Charlotte in week 2. Then the Nutter Classic back in Cathedral City, Oregon, UC Santa Barbara, UC Riverside, St. Mary's, and Hawaii After today, 19 days until they're back at home against California Baptist on February 25th. Runs up and in. It's Callie Decker. And the Aztecs, they'll get a one-out base runner here in the 5th. Bring the tying run to the plate. Form of Jasmine Williams, who will look to continue swinging a hot bat. Walking it out up that first base line. Looks like she's good to go. Gonna spike the bat down with a little authority. Probably wouldn't be doing that if you were really feeling something. And the Aztecs will send a pinch runner over in that direction. Here's Mia Rodriguez. Made her NCAA debut as a pinch runner against CSUN in Game 1. Freshman out of San Jose up in the Bay Area, which if you're not familiar with Golden State geography is to say not close to here. Man, 9-10 hour drive if you left right now. But born in San Diego, so bringing it back here for her start of her NCAA career with the Aztecs. Williams representing the tying run, standing in. Goes up top and takes ball 1. Just to round out that point about the Aztec schedule, they'll play at the Garmin Classic in Fullerton, Weber State, Notre Dame, Utah, Arizona, Cal State, Fullerton. Also see LMU, Sac State, and UCLA in non-conference here in March, right before the start of league play at Utah State. Williams takes a strike, and it's even up at 1-1, as ever. Heck of a non-conference schedule for San Diego State. Should set him up with a pretty nice RPI. One Sales up top. Make it 2 balls and a strike. He's handled all the action so far in the circle for Oklahoma. A couple pitchers in that first game, Deal and Smith. It's been Landry all the way here, pitching with the lead for the first time in this one. 2-1 is downstairs, so goes a little high, goes a little low, but can't find the zone, and Williams patient here for San Diego State. 3-1 count with 1 away. 5-3 Sooners in this seesaw battle of a game. Three-1 is in there for a strike. Run the count to Williams full at 3-2. Popped up in the first and doubled couple innings ago in the third. Landry ready's at 3-2. Set down the right field line, just off the glove. And San Diego State threatening for runners at the corners. They'll have it, and then Williams diving into second on the throw. Good contact, full stretch by Sanders, nipped the glove on the way out to right field. Then with 1 down in the 5th, the Aztecs back in business. They've got the tying run at second here. Went low, dug it out. Oh, almost for Sanders going full stretch. But to get under that and put that kind of a swing on that kind of a pitch, that is something special from Jasmine Williams. It's going to be a single and then advanced on the throw. And then, well, there's some of the team speed. That's one thing Stacy Newman-Denise was excited about, the uptick in speed. Across this roster, Rodriguez forcing the action, getting to third. And Angie Yellen stands in and takes strike 1. Strikeout and a flyout for the Aztecs coming off of that good start in game 1. 2 hits, including a homer, 4 driven in. Aztecs just quickly calling for time, checking over to Kendall Fern in that third base box. 0-1 with 1 away, 5-3 Sooners, tying run at second as Yellen takes strike 2. Looking to get in defensive mode here. Looked good from what we saw there, just in at the knees, the very bottom part of the zone. And 0-2 is downstairs. Good idea, and you like having that backstrop that you can trust in Everling. Deal something downstairs, try and serve up a pitch that Yellen wouldn't be able to do much with. But she lays off. Now it's 1-2. Time brings it upstairs. Makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, going low to high. We've seen that combination a couple of times. And we talked about it a lot with Uribe, but Landry showing that ability to pitch down and pitch up. Mix it up top to bottom. Close on that last one. Here's the 2-2. And Yellen pokes it foul. It's a good defensive swing. We've seen a handful of the student athletes for all of these teams do that today. Just that short swing. And they're basically just getting it to contact, not even needing to get it through the softball. But just get the bat on the ball and pop it the other way. One of the biggest spots of this game here in the 5th. Time called for as Yellen steps out. Now Espinoza striking out to start the inning. Decker with the hit by pitch, and Williams with the single, getting to second on the throw thanks to some good pinch running for San Diego State and Rodriguez. It was her action that forced the throw. She got into third and then got the trail runner, Williams, into second. 2-2 is foul down the left field side. Got a good piece of it, got out in front there for Yellen. Everybody heading over in that direction. Core from center and Dayton from left flying in. Still 2-2. Swung on and missed. Big strikeout to hold the runners and get out number 2. Aztecs down to their final out of this 5th. Started low, about knee-high, bottom, dropping out of that pitch. A really good offering, and again, one that would be hard to do anything with, even if you made contact with it. There's a swing and a miss by Uribe. Starts off at 0-1. She's popped out, struck out so far for San Diego State. Coming off of a 2-hit game in the opener, one of 5 Aztecs with multiple hits. 0-1, down and in for ball 1. And the effectiveness pitching with runners on. 2 for 11 with runners on for San Diego State. 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. A lot of opportunities outside of that Cunningham 3-run homer. Similar spot here, down and in. It makes it 2-1. First team all-region performer, 3-time Sun Belt All-League honoree. Great career at Louisiana before joining up with the Sooners. Bounced over through the left side for a base hit. 1 run scores for the Aztecs. They're going to wade the trail runner. She's in there. San Diego State has tied it up on a 2-run hit from Grace Uribe, who's fired up at second base. Rodriguez, the pinch runner, scoring along with Williams. And Uribe winning a big battle for the Aztecs. Hit it where it's pitched. It was away. She sends it that direction. An aggressive send, a great slide on what was a close play at the plate. Then again, you have to go back for San Diego State. Rodriguez pinch running. Aggressive on the base pass, getting first to third on the Williams single, setting him up for second and third, and all of that rolling into that turning into a 2-run single. Aztecs would not be level if it weren't for that. So Uribe continues to have a nice debut day here for San Diego State. And they're going to send Allie Duker, who now represents the go-ahead run, to pinch run. It's a 2-run single, then Uribe getting to second on the throw. And the Aztecs have had some big hits throughout this day from a couple different batters. I mean, you think about the work that gotten out of Williams, who's still swinging a hot bat here in game 2. Along with Yellen's game 1 effort. And now Uribe and Cunningham with the 2 big knocks in this one. Macario takes ball 1. Landry now trying to keep this thing level. Decent poke from Macario. She's a little behind it. Evens up here at 1-1. Macario coming over from Central Florida, or San Diego State, 3rd-team All-Region middle infielder last year. And goes around, cannot hold up the swing. That'll make it 1-2. Five apiece, 2 outs, 1-2 the count. Bottom 5. And there is a swing and a miss. Drop third strike, so I had to throw it down to first to confirm it. But they get it done to keep this thing all even up at 5. Landry gets the strikeout. It's a 2-run Aztec inning. It's a 2-run single to the left side by Uribe. Aztecs flying around. Great head first dive in from Williams. 5-5 through 5. It's getting fun. Let's go to the 6th. Back and forth we go here at San Diego State. 5 apiece between the Aztecs and number 2/3 Oklahoma. As you take a look at some of the big hits in this one, this was Shannon Cunningham's 3-run home run in the second. First with the Aztecs to just left of center. That made it 3-0 Aztecs. Couple of big hits for Oklahoma to try and cut into the deficit, and this was the no-doubter from Cassidy Pickering to give them the lead after some clutch work at the plate by Ella Parker. Then San Diego State, Grace Uribe, who's back in the circle, helped pull them level with that 2-run single in the bottom half of the 5th. Facing Agbayani to start off this 6th inning. 6 total runs across. 4 in the top of the 5th, 2 in the bottom half, and we've seen at least 1 run in 3 of the last 4 innings now. And a good contest between these two sides to round out opening day. Somebody's going to go to 2-0 after both got the better of CSUN earlier on. 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 4 left on for the Sooners. 5 runs, 7 hits, an error, 4 left on for San Diego State. Uribe's 1-1 heads in downstairs. And it goes to 2 balls and a strike. Two 2-1 sails up high, make it 3 balls and a strike. So 3-run Aztec lead early, 5 straight to the Sooners through 4.5, and then San Diego State getting 2 back. The bottom of the 5th. So both teams have held a multi-run lead in this one. We're all square at 5 as we get on into this 6th inning. Uribe finds a strike here to make it 3-2. And from a pitching standpoint, now her 62nd appearance overall, was 13-10, 4.36 ERA, 180 innings during her time at Texas A&M. Bounce over to the third. Yellen's got it for the Aztecs. 1 down. Yellen had a couple important plays for SDSU over at the hot corner in that first game. Trying to keep CSUN from developing anything early offensively. Looked good over there defensively for San Diego State throughout this opening day. Now Gabby Garcia, the starter at short in game 1. Coming off the bench here at game 2, still handling that post. Batting here out of the 8th spot. Takes ball 1 from Uribe. Last season of action for Uribe, you can go back 2 years ago to 2023. Only 5 appearances in the circle, so a lot of action in terms of her time as an NCAA pitcher, but not so much in the way of the last couple years. So stepping back into that role as one of the two-way threats for San Diego State. Garcia out in front. Good stick to it. Fouled off for strike 2. An Oklahoma team moving on from 4 All-Americans from a year ago, 6 of 9 position starters, 3 of the 4 primary pitchers. As much roster churn as they've seen in this incredible championship run. One is up top and evens it up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two swung on and missed. Uribe strikes out Garcia, 2 gone in the 6th. And now Hannah Kaur will step back into bat. First pitch into Kaur, in for a strike. Started off at 0-1. So 2 1/3 for Hernandez, 2 1/3 for Solura. Back to Uribe here. 3 strikeouts in 5 innings in game 1. She's starting to work the swing and miss stuff here in game 2. And Kaur batting for the first time since lining out back in the 3rd. Stretches out the bat and able to stay alive. Redshirt junior out of Yorba Linda Esperanza High School. Missed a lot of 2023. With the back injury, seen a lot of time as a pinch runner for this group as well. And one of those defense and speed type of depth pieces. And, well, new season. An opportunity to get a crack at the starting lineup here. Came off the bench in game 1, but starting it up here in game 2. Just inside with that one. That'll go 2-2. Breeze starting to pick up a little bit from behind us. When it's going, it's usually going out. We'll catch a little bit of it. Foul territory. Catch on the move for San Diego State. The wheels out there from Holcomb to haul it in. And the Aztecs have issued the first 1-2-3 inning for either side in this game. Comes in the top of the 6th after they tied it back up, and they will head to bat in the home 6, 5 apiece. Aztecs and the Sooners. As we go bottom 6 on Mountain West Network, David Gentili with you on the call for this one. Dan Oshman, our producer director, along with Zach Savage, Kyler McPhillips, and Andres Flores running cameras for us. Also, a big thank you to our sports information director, Sam Myers with San Diego State. Brock Borgeson with Oklahoma, helping us get ready to go leading up to this season opening day. And always fun to get 2 games in to start the campaign. So 5 apiece, bottom 6, Quinn Wyke standing in for San Diego State against Sam Landry. It'll be Wyke, Holcomb, and Farandou up here for the Aztecs. Took a walk in the 2nd and grounded out for San Diego State back in the 4th. 0-2 downstairs to Wyke, and make it a ball and 2 strikes. True freshman starting twice at shortstop for San Diego State. We saw Macario there a lot last year. A lot at second base as well. So now Lala back over to second base with Wyke slotting in at the 6th spot. Staying alive here and makes it 1-2. Wyke waiting on that 1-2 pitch and fouls it off to the right side for San Diego State. Talked a little bit about Mac Barbara, Allie Light for this group. Some of the key losses for the Aztecs was Katie Goldberg, Alyssa Garcia, all tournament team performers, McKenna Brocky, Macy Keister, AJ Murphy, starters and staples. So good deal of veteran talent moving on from that group. I'm really excited about the core, Stacey Newman-Denise, that they're bringing back this year. And as we talked about, likes what she's seeing in terms of her team speed and just in terms of overall depth. Talked to Coach yesterday, and she said, be honest with you, we got some of our spots set. We're going to need to see early in the season who's the most consistent for us, but they've got a ton of options. This one sent through the right side as Wyke able to get aboard. On safely in 2 out of 3 trips up. And continues to have a nice debut day at the plate. Just staying inside the ball, sending it the opposite way. And putting the go-ahead run aboard for San Diego State. You can see Pickering was up on it and right. It got in her area so fast that for a second, thought she might try and scoop it up and get that force at first. One is bunted foul. This is Kiara Cisneros for SDSU. Pinch hit against CSUN, went 0 for 1 in her NCAA debut earlier today. Freshman out of Rancho Santa Margarita, Soro High School and OC Batbusters Club. No one in there for a strike. That makes it 0-2. She's batting here in the 8th spot for SDSU. Aaron waiting for her chance on deck. Bounces one to the first base side. Gets through for San Diego State. And off to third is Wyke. First and third, nobody out for the Aztecs here in the 6th. So big spot for a first NCAA hit for the freshman Cisneros. Well, we talked about it earlier. Hit it where it's pitched. That one was inside. Did well to turn on it. And just got enough in terms of the hop and the exit velo to get it past Sanders over at first. So first and third with nobody out in a 5-5 game, bottom 6. And if San Diego State able to get a run across here, then they'd be 3 outs away from what would be a stellar opening day win, but kind of ways to go. Can't get too far ahead of things there. So Kate Farron back into bat in the 9th spot. And actually up to bat for the first time in this one. Showing a bunt look. Runner taking off for a second. They'll cut the throw, and it's a stolen base. So Cisneros able to get into second. Waikiki now at third. Takes the force off at second. There's a lot of things you can do offensively in a first and third situation. A lot of things you can do to counter it defensively too. That time, that short cut throw. See if you can bait the runner going from third. And I think a good time to break it out. Now because the runner on third, the most important one as that potential tie-breaking run. So you put a little more action, a little more emphasis on them. 0-2. Sails back. Runners will hold here. There's not a ton of foul territory. Maybe 10 feet or so on the umpire. That one squared up the net and bounced right back to Emmerling. So nowhere for the Aztecs to go. Crowd starting to get loud again. Landry ready's a 1-2. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout. She had 3 of them last inning. And a strikeout to start the 6th. In fact, it was all strikeouts, hits, or hit by pitch last inning. That was it. And it's been a bit of a strikeout streak as well. You look at the last 6 outs recorded by Landry. All strikeouts going back to the 2nd out of the 4th. Espinoza showing the bunt look and takes strike 1. Big first out, still in that pressure cooker spot. Espinoza, and slap hitter for San Diego State, working with 2 in scoring position, and infield playing her in. Bounces it over to the first base side. Going to let it roll foul. Smart play by Sanders. Had a beat on it, saw where it was going, and of course, left-handed hitter. If it's going that way off the bat, more likely, unless you got some weird kind of spin on it, heading into foul territory. That would have been a tricky one to scoop up and try and get Waikiki at home. So they've got Espinoza to 2 strikes. Will still show bunt. Not likely to stay square, but we'll see. Swing and a miss. 2nd and 3rd with nobody out and 2 consecutive strikeouts. Big one for Landry. She is up to 11. And Patty Gasso out to have a chat. One of the newcomers on this group, and it looks like they are getting geared up for a pitching change. And it looks like they are calling on the freshman Audrey Lowry for an NCAA debut in a mega spot here. Lowry takes over when you come back on the Mountain West Network. The 2nd-ranked pitcher in the class of 2024, Audrey Lowry. Left-hander standing in. 2 outs, 2nd and 3rd, 5-5 game, bottom 6. Facing San Diego State's Callie Decker. He takes ball 1 high. Lowry, Miss Indiana for softball, the Gatorade Player of the Year, and an extra inning softball 2nd-ranked pitcher. Last year's prep class. Finds a strike. And evens it up at 1-1 to Decker. Double, a bounce out, and a hit by pitch. Base hit would give San Diego State the lead. And out would send us to the 7th. 5 apiece. Freshman out of Pittsboro, Indiana, Tri-West High School, has found a couple strikes. Gearing up for a 1-2. Swung on and foul tipped for strike 3. And after the Aztecs at second and third with nobody out, tying run at third in the bottom of the 6th, or the go-ahead run at third rather in this bottom of the 6th inning, 3 consecutive strikeouts, 2 from Sam Landry and 1 for Andre Lowry against the formidable Callie Decker. What a sequence of pitching for the Sooners. It means we'll go to the 7th. 5 a pop. Good one here in San Diego on opening night. Go to the top of the 7th, 5 apiece between San Diego State and Oklahoma here on opening night. One of these teams trying to go 2-0, both winners over CSUN. And how about that close to last inning as the Aztecs got first and second, or second and third rather, with nobody out. 3 straight strikeouts, 2 by the starter Sam Landry, and then Andre Lowry in her NCAA debut in a gotta have it spot against Callie Decker, got the strikeout. Keep the Aztecs from taking the lead and forcing a must-score inning. Instead, we're 5 apiece as Abby Dayton leads it off and takes ball 1. Give you another look. I don't know where that one missed. Looks like it was comfortably in on the outside corner. This time, Gracie Uribe able to find a strike or San Diego State. Dayton's gotten aboard every time up. He's on an error in the first, singled in the third, and hit by a pitch in the 5th. And another close one that won't go. And Uribe asking back, trying to get a sense of the zone. Coming in, and that again looked like it caught the inside corner. Didn't seem too high. Instead it goes to 2-1. That one for sure up top. 3 balls and a strike. Jaylene Hernandez is checked into the game and right for SDSU. And that one is downstairs, ball 4. Putting Dayton aboard, and she still has been impossible to get out for San Diego State so far. And one of the big-time transfers coming in after that stellar career at Utah. And getting the go-ahead run on here in the 7th inning. Now Oklahoma State going to call time, huddle up, and talk it out. Interesting with Patty Gasso talking prior to the season. She said, look, last couple seasons, 2 weeks before the start of the year, I'm like, yep, we're good. I know what we are. I know where we're at. Feeling good going into the season. But the one thing that came across in her preseason press conference was just being excited for the new group, excited for the challenge. And she had Dayton up there with her. And she talked about Dayton. She said, look, she's somebody that's going to create chaos at the plate and on the base pass, full of energy every day, every second, every moment. She said the burst of energy from the transfers was huge, and why not? You've got a really talented group coming in together. Trying to help this team continue its unprecedented national championship run. And she leaned over at one point to Dayton. She said, "You got all this energy. Do you ever sleep?" Here's McEnroe Marinas, who pops this one foul. He said that was one of the things that stood out about the lead up to the season. Gasso back close-ish to home from Torrance, about an hour and a half, 2 hours north of here. Pitch is off the plate from Uribe, and it goes to a ball and a strike. We talked about this long run as head coach for Gasso. In fact, her Sooners, when Stacy Newman-Denise, Stacy Newman was a student athlete at UCLA, those two sides met up 2 times in the Women's College World Series. This one just onto the outfield grass, and Macario going to get it for San Diego State. And McEnroe Marinas to pop out. One down here in the 7th, and here's Ella Parker, who's been doing a lot of damage in this one. I want to put a bow on that last point real quick. OU, first national title back in 2000. It was a clincher over UCLA. Newman-Denise didn't play in that game, but then in 2002, UCLA won 2-0. That was their lone win at the Women's College World Series when Stacy Newman was the National Player of the Year. So some history with Newman-Denise, formerly as a student athlete, now as a coach in some big-time matchups in those two terrific programs. Stacy Newman-Denise out of the dugout real quick. Bryce DeColvey out with her as well. First-year head coach. It's a men's fast-pitch player as well. She said that's added a nice little dynamic for our group. The types of things that they are able to see. So talking it out here, facing the very dangerous Ella Parker. Starts off taking ball 1. Uribe turning around and smiling. They're trying to figure out the zone right now. That camera, of course, we got, it's a little off center, but boy, some of these have been close. I thought you could make a case for at least 2 out of those 3 that have garnered some of the bigger reactions of the crowd for being strikes. Now Dayton over at first after the leadoff walk. McEnroe Marinas popping out to second. 2-0 pitch is in there for a strike, make it 2-1. Parker with RBI hits last 2 times up, the one in the 3rd, and that was a huge one from a momentum standpoint after Cunningham's 3-run home run in the bottom of the 2nd. Just to get on the board, get a little juice going back in your camp. That is up and in. Make it 3 balls and a strike. And then an RBI double in the 5th. Prior to Cassidy Pickering's 3-run home run. Double made it a 1-run game, and Pickering helped him take a 5-3 lead. Swing and a miss. Now Uribe winning an important battle at 3-2, but the war of this at-bat still rages on. A swing and a miss, getting things to 3-2 here. And fouled off. Parker battling in to stay alive. Put up a slash line of 415, 516, 722. 62 runs, 13 homers. So some good pop out of that leadoff spot as well. And now they want to call for a time and swap out the softball here. Toss it over to the Aztec dugout. 3-2 with 1 away. Parker up to bat. Dayton over at first. 5-5 game, top of the 7th. Pitch is outside, and that go-ahead run will move to second base. Second walk of the inning. Dayton into second, Parker in the first. And here is Sid Sanders. Sanders takes ball one inside. 242 hitter for this group a season ago, but just a wealth of experience. Again, 425 is part of that standout freshman campaign with Arizona State a couple seasons back. One's in there for a strike, evens it up at 1-1. Now steady as a table setter, solid offensively for Oklahoma. Downstairs, making it 2 balls and a strike, and Decker going to get it to keep those runners in place. Now, similar type of situation, big threat. The go-ahead run in scoring position. That was the case for the Aztecs. The 2 of them, second and third, nobody out last inning. 3 straight strikeouts, they didn't score. Sooners have a golden chance here in the top of the 7th. And that one just clips the inside corner for strike 2. Two and two. Swing and a miss. Aztecs fired up after the strikeout of Sanders. 2 gone in the inning. And now Cassidy Pickering. Back up as it looks like San Diego State is getting set to make a pitching change here. Uribe has done her part for the most part here. And it's going to go back to Didi Hernandez. So Hernandez, who started this game for San Diego State, a couple pitchers later, set to check back into action. She takes over when you... Didi Hernandez back to work here for San Diego State. Started this game, which got going a little more than 2.5 hours ago, and now back to action. Her one battle against Cassidy Pickering resulted in a full count walk. And she misses inside here with ball 1. And Decker gonna run it back out to her. So 1-0 here. As a 7-pitch walk. Pickering last time up, 3-run home run against Grace Uribe. So the Aztecs going back to their starter here. And finds the strike, making 1-1. 2 away, first and second, 2 outs, 5-5 game, top 7. It's been pretty much all max leverage spots since things started opening up in the 5th. Keeps it with that changeup, and it runs inside for ball 2. The zone's been a little inconsistent, but I think that one looked good, at least from taking it out live. Yeah, I think that stayed inside. Again, our camera angle's a little bit off to the right. You can kind of catch the dredges of the plate at the bottom of your screen there. 2-1 is pulled foul. Sooners down to their last strike of this 7th. It's got walk, pop up, walk, and strikeout. 3-run home run for Pickering in the 5th, part of a 4-run inning that made it 5-3 Sooners. Aztecs answered with 2 of their own in the 5th. A scoreless 6, but a tremendous chance that San Diego State couldn't take advantage of. Now 2-2. Bounce is down and away, and that one well read out of the hand. Two and a third, 2 hits, a run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts for Hernandez on 46 pitches before checking back in here. Skips down low, and Pickering will walk the bases loaded. So the go-ahead run One base closer, now up to third. And it's Isabella Emmerling ready to stand back in. Grounded into a double play in the second, singled in the fourth, and bounced out to third in the fifth. And Emmerling watches that changeup sail low, so nowhere to put her now. Not something you usually see as a potential scary point for San Diego State walking in a run. Well, that is the case they face here. And once again, they'll call time and get together to talk this thing out. And Hernandez, as much as any of the great pitchers that we've seen here on the Mesa last handful of years, typically excelling in these kind of jam spots, whether she's in them herself or coming out of the bullpen, either way. It's been big time in the pressure cooker. Bounces one over to third. Yellen quick up with it. And San Diego State keeps the Sooners off the board here in the seventh. 5 apiece. Aztecs back to bat. Bottom 7 when we come back on Mountain West Network. In scoring position, but nothing doing since the 2 runs by the Aztecs off the bat of Uribe in the bottom of the 5th. Williams, Yellen, and then the 5 spot for San Diego State, currently occupied by Hernandez, but should they get there, that'll be somebody else hitting for the Aztecs against Audrey Lowry, who checked in last inning, got a strikeout with 2 outs in second and third to keep the Sooners out of a must-score situation going into that top of the 7th. Jasmine Williams starts out taking a strike for San Diego State. Hits each of her last 2 times up, 2 for 3 overall. 0-1 is bounced to short, turned around, and the throw to first is in time. Starting in, then backing up on it that time was Garcia, who came off the bench and has handled the last couple innings at shortstop. Big out number 1, and now that brings up Angie Yellen. Her first time facing Lowry, she struck out twice, flown out to left. Looking to lay down a bunt and pops one up. Goes into foul territory, so she'll start off at 0-1. And Yellen for the Aztecs. 3-run home run to right center, just in front of the scoreboard. Help them get things going and really break it open in that bottom of the 5th against CSUN. She pokes this one foul. And it will go to 0-2. Lowry's 0-2 is bounced foul. So Yellen staying alive here for San Diego State. So she's homered in 2 straight games for SDSU. Had the go-ahead homer against Grand Canyon in the NCAAs to make it 4-3 in the 4th. Gets a hold of one out to left center. This will stay in, and Sooners track it down from center field as everybody gets a little adrenaline spike seeing that one fly, but plenty of room for Core to make the catch. 2 down. So 6-3 off the bat of Williams. Yellen flies out to left center. And now here's Uribe. A 2-run single for San Diego State. The last run scoring play of this game in the bottom of the 5th, 2 innings back. One is just outside there, so even things up at a ball and a strike. 1-1 downstairs. It goes to 2-1. And she had the single through the left side. It was Uribe who gave up that 3-run home run to Pickering as part of the big 4-run fifth for Oklahoma. So involved on either side of the last 5 runs in this game. Started off the day 0 for 2 before coming through in the 5th. 2-2 pitch is up and away. Couple of team debuts in this head-to-head matchup, at least in terms of the day is concerned. This is the NCAA debut for Lowry, who gets a swing and a miss and caps off a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 7th inning. First time the Aztecs have been put down in order, and that means we are going to free softball on opening day. 5 apiece. Inning number 8 is on tap. Late night here in San Diego. And San Diego State, decent amount of roster churn, but a lot of impactful players coming back for this team this year. Trying to capture a Mountain West crown for the Aztecs for what would be a 4th consecutive year if they can get the regular season or tournament title. Start out with that runner on second base here as we go to the 8th. So it's Emmerling out there with Agbayani standing in. Now, this can be the case. Sometimes that international tiebreaker in non-conference play. Don't see it as much in league action. And the bunt will move him over. Close one. But the Aztecs do get the out at first. And a big one here. Patty Gasso has the lineup card out. So again, that is Emmerling, who's now up to third base after the sacrifice. Really close play. Ooh, for San Diego State. I don't know. We'll see if we can give you one more look at that. Decker taking it from behind home plate. The stretch of the foot. Oh, that's close, but that looked what we could see there like it out. And here's a hit by pitch. It's going to put Sydney Barker aboard as we get you back to live action. So it's first and third for the Sooners. And you get that first opportunity to put pressure on, starting with that runner at second. Here is Hannah Core hitting her only trip up in game 1. We've seen a lot of pinch hitters kind of shuttled in as this thing has gone on. Core 0 for 2 so far in the nightcap. Take strike 1. Aztecs rolling with Didi Hernandez. And she started this game, and well, I think it's likely going to be hers until the finish line here. And Ava Schafel is a true freshman. Olivia Gigante really the only other one we'd expect to see pitch. Bump put into play, flip home is no, not in time. They say safe. And the runners in the meantime able to advance for Oklahoma. So the Sooners have taken the lead, make it second and third. And now for San Diego State, got to be thinking about a challenge here. But part of the problem for the Aztecs was they waited around after the call. There was still only one out either way. And Oklahoma with some heads-up base running to set it up at second and third. Let's give you another look at the action here. Flipped home, looked like the timing was good, and ooh, it's blocked. Yeah, definitely blocked. It's going to be hard to tell anything from our angle, and umpires will get together and talk it out. Looks like for sure the timing was right for the out, but I'm not sure if we'll be able to give you a definitive look here. And they will go ahead and review. Take one more look from down the line. No, ball came out there. There it is. See the ball go loose at the end. That was nearly completely blocked from our view when we saw it live. So based on that, and that wasn't like a high-level contact play or anything like that, and Decker just lost the handle on the softball. So good look from up the first baseline. That's Dan Oshman spinning it for you. Andres Flores running our camera over there. If it holds up and guesses that it should here, then it'll be 6-5 and runners at second and third. Now take another look from behind the plate. Yeah, just stretching out the tag, but now she didn't have the softball secured through the tag. So that should be a run that'll stand for the Sooners here. That was interesting. Didn't see that initially live. We kind of had our view blocked from behind home plate. Decker picked it up, applied the tag anyway, but, well, then the other question would be, well, did Emmerling get in safely? And it looked like she did, and yep, that is the call that will stand after the review. So Oklahoma has taken the lead in the 8th, but also crucially for the Sooners, taking advantage and getting the runners to second and third here. They kind of waited, Decker applying the tag, looking up, yeah, then looked back. I wonder if we can get you maybe a little bit wider of a look to see how everything had played out from a base running standpoint and where Decker was looking, but she did have to go and get the softball. The soft was jarred loose, so that's what triggered the runners to go there. And we've got Callie Decker coming over to have something looked at. So here's a look at this play from a little bit of the wider angle. Again, flip it back home. That's pretty tight. I think if Decker holds on to it, it's an out. But then was looking back, so had to complete that action at home. But then with less than 2 outs, it's you got to complete your action and then go right back to the field and see what else is going on there. But the thing that we're trying to pick up from and decipher on this was that extra action enough? The grab and tag that the runner's already going, would it have made a difference? And this is a 1-0 pitch, or now first pitch here to Abby Dayton. Boy, so a lot going on there. And Oklahoma's got the lead back 6-5 Sooners, top 8. Second and third with 1 away. Dayton has not been retired in 4 trips up. And the 1-0 just clipping the inside corner for strike 1. Reached on an error in the first, singled in the third, hit by a pitch in the 5th, walked in the 7th, done it just about every which way in this game. 1-1 skips in, and Decker blocks it for SDSU. So 2 balls and a strike. And both teams have had a multi-run lead at some point in this game. A bit of a tongue twister apparently there as Dayton fouls this one off. Might have gotten a little bit of a piece of herself as well. Both with great opportunities at 6th and the 7th. It's remarkable that those innings went completely scoreless. Some of the chances that we had, particularly bottom 6, top 7. Fouled off to make it 2-2. This is a big tipping point if you can get that second run across, as Aztecs will be able to start with that runner at second base when we go to the bottom of the 8th. And it's a much easier task to get that singular run across in scoring position than it is to try and pull a second. So a lot in the balance here with 1 out and second and third. Skips in again and makes it 3-2. McEnroe Marinas awaiting on deck. Big full count pitch coming up. And that is in there for a called strike 3. Catches the high part of the zone. Hernandez Has a big punch out for an unproductive out. 2 gone in the 8th. Take another look, just diving in at the last second, right below the letters. And a good spot, kept it high. So big strikeout from Didi. Her third of the action. McEnroe Marinas over to first base and foul. Barker's at third, Coors at second. International tiebreaker rule. They got that first run across. Decker couldn't hang on to the ball, trying to make the tag on her catching counterpart in Emerling. 0-1 is down and away, and make it a ball and a strike. Now this is what you hope for when you schedule tough in non-conference and on opening day. You want some battles early on in the season. Get battle tested, face good opponents. See what kinds of things they can expose in your team, show you that you have to work on. 1-1 is downstairs, making 2 balls and a strike. And it looks like got an injury concern for Core, who was limping back to second base, and now a little time will be called for as they go out to have a look. So Maura Dickman is out to have a look here. Oh yeah, just rolled that right ankle, taking a bit of that secondary lead. And going to be helped off here. So they'll have to bring in a pinch runner, and that means that they're also going to have to go back to the bench for the bottom of this inning, find a new center fielder. So for now, it's one end of that equation, and it's Tia Malloy who's going to run at second. Freshman out of Woodinville, Washington, and Redmond High School. And pinch hit and struck out for her NCAA debut in game 1. That 7-2 win over CSUN immediately preceding this game. So Malloy into action there. Barker still at third. And again, still that big tipping point that we told you about. Big difference between a 1-run lead and a multi-run lead with the international tiebreaker. 2-1 with 2 away. And Hernandez out of the long layoff, dialed in for strike 2. Keeping everything calm here. Trying to block out those pressure vibes. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Didi Hernandez. Her second in as many batters to close out the 8th. But the Sooners, the runner at second to start, and bringing it across to make it 6-5. Aztecs have to score when we come back. Bottom of the 8th is next on Mountain West Network. Go to the bottom of the 8th. Couple defensive changes coming up for Oklahoma. We'll get them to you when they are all sorted out. Or an extra innings here on opening night between the Aztecs and the Sooners. They'll start out with Grace Uribe at second and Lala Macario at the plate. So still sets up that game-winning run at the plate situation. Game-tying run out at second. We'll see how the Aztecs choose to handle this offensively. And again, just getting some of the final looks, confirmations from home plate umpire Michael Hernandez. He'll clean off the dish and we'll get ready to go. Aztecs have to score here in the bottom of the 8th. Macario started off showing a sacrifice look. And not always a straight sacrifice, you should say, though. So Pickering is in left, Parker's in right, Dayton going into center, and Barker moving to short. They'll lay it down. Nice quick turnaround to get the out. And the Aztecs, as the Sooners did, starting off by sacrificing that runner over to third. Sets it up here for Quinn Wyke, 1 for 2 with the walk. Singled her last time up back in the 6th. And now 5 batters faced, 5 outs, as this one is on the ground to second, and the run will come across. So San Diego State ties it up on the ground out. Quinn Wyke in a big spot helps the Aztecs get the tying run and extend this thing here at the bottom of the 8th. Now, man, 5 apiece after 7. Both teams getting that international tiebreaker runner home in the 8th. So the Aztecs all square. And looks like they're getting ready to go to the bench once again. Here is Jade Ignacio, one of the top pinch hitters for this group a season ago. And now stepping in the spot, trying to rally these Aztecs in the 8th. Ignacio had a walk and an RBI knock in game 1. She's going for it all there. Pops it back and just gets out of play on the netting over our heads. Ignacio had a walk-off hit on opening day in her NCAA debut against CSUN a couple years back, right here on the Mesa. Takes the 0-1 pitch downstairs and makes it a ball and a strike. Batting here in the 8th spot. Lowry has still not allowed a batter to reach safely in this one. Continuing to work in some high leverage innings here in her NCAA debut. 1, 2, 3 in the 7th. The sacrifice and the bounce out for the RBI here in the 8th. Going back to that massive inning-ending strikeout in the 6th. And that's one that would have changed the complexion of this game big time. Would have put the Sooners in a must-score situation in the 7th, but struck out Decker with 2nd and 3rd for her first NCAA action in the circle. And got a called strike 3 here, and we will go to the 9th. Both teams getting their runner at 2nd across in the 8th. 6 apiece. Inning number 9 is on deck. Good one on opening day between the Aztecs and the Sooners. At 6 a pop, Gracie Uribe has been doing a little bit of everything for this group, and she'll see some action in the field. Now taking over in right for San Diego State. And runner will start at 2nd. That's Nelly McEnroe Marinas. Here's Ella Parker. Meat of the order due up here for Oklahoma against Didi Hernandez. Parker starts off and takes ball 1. It will be Parker, Sanders, and Pickering. Collectively responsible for 5 of the 6 runs driven in today. Downstairs, and it's 2-0. So they made the move. Go ahead and sacrifice that runner over to third last time around. Less likely to see that with some of your bigger bats up here, and position you love to be in. Got that starting off, leading off an inning with a runner in scoring position. For Parker, lone returning All-American from last year's group. Starts off 3-0 against Hernandez. Just finds the inside corner for strike 1. 3-0 San Diego State in the 2nd. 5 straight to the Sooners, including that 4-run 5th. 2 more for the Aztecs in the bottom of the 5th. Good chances, bottom 6, top 7. Neither materialized into runs, and then 1 run apiece in the first extra inning as Parker fouls back a 3-1 pitch. RBI single in the third, RBI double in the fifth, walked in the seventh, so gotten aboard 3 straight times, 2 for 3 overall. Full count pitch. Dives down and in for ball 4. So Parker taking a walk for the second straight trip up, going back to that 7th inning. Oklahoma taking time, going to get together and talk this situation out. Sid Sanders, who's getting ready to stand in, and Cassidy Pickering in that group. And again, these are just, you like to see lots of different types of situations early on in the season, and both of these teams, well, seeing a little bit of everything in this one here tonight. So Hernandez trying to stay loose here through this timeout. And that little bit of a break that we had, that injury stoppage. And the concern for Hannah Korsh came out of that, firing up a strike next go-round. So the international tiebreaker runner starting at second. Parker taking a walk as the first batter of the inning. Sanders laying down a bunt. Hernandez leaves it for Yellen. Sidearms it to first in time. So the sacrifice will get the runners into scoring position. Sanders steps up, does a job, and the table is set for Cassidy Pickering here. 3-run home run earlier. She has drawn 2 walks, 7 walks overall for the Sooners in this one. 6-6 game. 1 out, top 9. Hernandez, first pitch is off the plate. Got Pickering up here. And you've got Emmerling on deck. It wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing for San Diego State if you didn't want to give her anything to hit. That one just clipping the outside corner. Worked the first pitch away. Second one just brought into the corner on a close one. Ready for the 1-1. It's the inside corner this time for strike 2. So moving out, out, in. Here from Hernandez. Working against Pickering. Going to walk back in the 7th. 1 of 3 in that inning to load up the bases. 1-2 downstairs. Makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. So much for that theory about nothing to hit. That's why I'm not a coach. Pickering locked in, staying in that stance as Hernandez gets ready. Turns around on this inside pitch, fouls it off, makes it 2-2. Stays at 2-2 there. We inch on into the 3rd hour of action tonight. Coming up on just past 9:30 here in California. Two and two. Just outside from Hernandez. It's been a lot of stuff on the edge either way, just either side of it. Now a full count. Hernandez ready for the 3-2 1-out pitch. Well, under this one, Pickering fouls it off. I hear a lot of people yelling when that's the case. We share the concourse with Tony Gwynn Stadium, the home of Aztec baseball, just off to our right. So a lot of walkway around and some raised seating in front of it. So a heads up if you're ever here catching a game and on the concourse while game is in action, keep your eyes up. And if people start hollering, cover. 3-2 is just outside for ball 4. That'll load up the bases with 1 out here in the 9th. Let's take one more look. Ooh, that's stretching across. And you're trying to get your framework for where the plate is. Hammer just off of center, but even with that, you can see kind of right below umpire's right foot there. That's what you're looking at in terms of home plate, and that looked like a strike. Here, this one is tattooed and gone. One crack of the bat, massively changing things here in extra innings. It's a grand slam for Isabella Emmerling. And Oklahoma leads it 10-6. "20 home runs in her career with North Carolina, 14 of them. It's part of a big breakout season offensively last year, and she was ready to go. No doubt, and might have even lost that one into the night. Maybe past some of that outer fencing. That is a long, long way past 225. So the Sooners putting together a 4-run 9th. You're looking at a group that lost a couple 4-time All-Americans. Tiare Jennings, Jada Coleman, also some studs in Kinsey Hansen, Alyssa Brito, multiple All-American selections for the 2 of them. So you retooled with a wealth of offensive talent from a handful of different schools coming in. And it's Emmerling who connects. Clear for landing after a massive grand slam. 1-2 here to Agbayani. Back up the middle, that's a base hit. Out into center, misplayed in center by San Diego State. Agbayani's gonna take second on her way to third. They're gonna wave her home. The throw to the plate is on a hop and late. And Agbayani trip all the way around the base paths. Sooners out of the dugout to mob her. Into the single and an error, and that'll stretch the lead to 5 here at 11-6. That's Jasmine Williams out in center for San Diego State. This one had some good pop coming off the bat. Now just went down to the knee, didn't really center up the softball then and got by her. That's one that you got to stop 10 times out of 10. And it was Macario who came over for the cutoff. Feeling good, good aggressive send, forcing the San Diego State defense into action. And brought that thing on home. Make it 11-6 in a 5-run 9th. 3 games today, the biggest inning for either side, and it comes in a potentially decisive moment here in this 9th inning. It'll be a big hill to climb for San Diego State. They get back to bat bottom of the 9th. And the Aztecs, they'll have Farron, Espinoza, and Decker 9-1-2. A combined 1 for 8. One and one here to Barker. And therefore a strike makes it 1-2. One-two in the air, right center. A couple Aztecs chasing it, and Uribe coming over from right. Fresh into the game in right. her number called. She makes the catch. Decent amount of ground to cover to track that one in the gaps. Able to make the play. And 2 down here. Now Tia Malloy ready to stand in.
Number 9, Tia Malloy.
First pitch to Malloy from Hernandez is up top, and it'll start off here at 1-0. So 1-0 with 2 away. And the grand slam breaking this thing open. It was tit for tat for a minute there, even into the extra innings. Sacrifices, moving those runners over. Sooners working some counts, setting the table big time. And Emmerling coming through. They swing and a miss on that pitch running inside. Makes it a ball and 2 strikes. Was a 5-year letter winner at Redmond High School in Woodinville, Washington. Won a 4A state championship as well. Put up some obscene offensive numbers in 567 as a senior. Hops this one up and over to make the catch from third is Yellen for San Diego State. 5 runs across for Oklahoma, including the grand slam from Emmerling. Deep into the San Diego night. 11-6 Sooners. Aztecs got to have 5 when we come back for the bottom of the ninth. For Audrey Lowry to try to protect in her NCAA debut has earned her way into a good spot here. 7 up, 7 down so far against San Diego State. Sav Adams will get it going here for the Aztecs. And this is a San Diego State debut, so tapping into the bench. Needing some offense to try and extend this thing. Spent 3 seasons with UCF, couple with Lala Macario back in 2022 and 23, originally out of La Mirada. 105th career outing tonight, 278 hitter at the NCAA level. Takes outside and makes it 1-2. Lowry checked in 2nd and 3rd. 2 outs in the 6th, got an inning-ending strikeout then to keep it a 5-5 game at the time. And stop it from being a must-score inning for Oklahoma. She picks up another strikeout here. And 1 strikeout in each of her 4 innings that she's been in so far. 4 of them total. Back to the top of the Aztec line for Bella Espinoza. And a runner starting on 2nd for San Diego State as Espinoza rounds out to 3rd. And that runner will move up to 3rd, and Aztecs down to their final out. So it'll be Callie Decker, so 1 trip through the order complete now. For Lowry, 2nd-ranked pitcher in last year's prep class. Indiana Gatorade Player of the Year, 2-time All-American. NFCA's mark. This one is snagged just in foul territory over at 3rd. And out of Tri-West High School, 4 state championship game appearances. 302 strikeouts, a .42 ERA. 7 walks, 22 wins. Those are all the single season records that Lowry has out of Tri-West. And taking it to the big stage here. She has come out and sat the Aztecs down in order, facing Decker for the 2nd time. Decker pops it foul, staying alive for San Diego State at 1-2. And that was one of the big things that Patty Gasso said about her group going into the season. The one thing about this team, we're not going to quit. I've seen multiple deficits each of these first 2 games. Trying to win them both. And they will, as that one's in for a called strike 3. A stellar debut and a much-deserved victory for Andre Lowry in the circle. 10 up, 10 down, and helping the Sooners pull out an 11-6 win in 9 innings here tonight. Big time back and forth action in this one. So Lowry gets the win, moves to 1-0, winning her NCAA debut.